Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
On behalf of the rabbis and Board of Temple Beth Israel, it is my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. I welcome those who have come in celebration of Shabbat. I welcome those who have come to remember a loved one, and I remember those who have come to celebrate a simcha. I particularly want to welcome those who have come to celebrate with my family as I become bat mitzvah, whether you'll be joining us in the sanctuary or online. For the past few months, I've been telling my dad that I don't think it's enough to have a prayer for the country in our service, as in my mind, it does not adequately or appropriately recognize our nation's first people. So, with my dad's permission, I'm interrupting my favourite prayer, Oziba Zimrat Yah, to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we gather and celebrate today, the Burung people of the Greater Kulin Nation. And I pay my respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging, and recognise that sovereignty was never ceded. I hope that all people share that recognition soon. In a few minutes, we'll continue with Modani on page 186. But before then, I would like to invite my parents onto the bima to present me with my talit.
So Liv, we're going to be hearing from your mother a little later at Kiddush, and I've been given the opportunity to say a few words now. And I think it begins with us acknowledging the fact that we're absolutely in love with the person you are and in awe of the person that you are becoming. We know that often you make things look remarkably easy, but living with you, we're very, very much aware of the fact that that's not the way it always is. And there's lots for you that is a struggle, and so much takes so much effort. And we're just so incredibly proud of the way that you put that effort into so many of the things that matter to you. We began the service with these words of Oziv Zimrat Yah. You described it as your favorite prayer. You know well that it is my favorite prayer as well. It's the prayer that I have always sung when I'm stressed and when I'm anxious, and it's calmed me down. It's the prayer that I sang when you were a baby, when I was trying to calm you down, and it's the prayer that you sang to me when I wasn't well and I needed some help and some strength. And so we had the words of that prayer embroidered across the top of this talit, in the hope that it's always with you, giving you strength, giving you confidence, and giving you courage. And we hope that whether it be in shul or whether it be like your blankie in bed, whenever you need a little bit of comfort, you can kind of crawl up with this talis, sing that little prayer, and know that everything's going to be great. Because you're great. It's our privilege to give you this.
Amen.
And so we're going to, in my daughter's spirit, keep breaking with tradition. And I invite you to turn to page 186 in our prayer book, because Liv asked, why don't we start our services with the morning song, Modeh Ani? 194 and continue with our prayers for health. First for our physical wholeness and then our spiritual well-being.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatsa et ha'adam b'chokhmah ubarah bo nekavim chalulim chalulim kalul ve'yadua livnei kisei kvodecha she'im yipateah echad mehem או יסתתר אחד מהם, אי אפשר להתקיים לעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. Blessed are you, the eternal one, who heals all flesh, working wondrously.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama.
Page 198 and those that follow, the Nisim B'chol Yom, the blessings for our daily miracles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan l'safchim bina lehavchim ben yom uben layla.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zokef kefufim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rakar al dal hamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin mitzvotei kaveh.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish harumim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten le'ayet ruach.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamevi shenat me'nai udma me'afapai.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani bat chorim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Yisrael.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otzei Israel b'kura.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam otzei Yisrael b'tifara.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yisham mitzvotav וציוונו לעסוק בדברי תורה.
אמן. הרב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו, ופי עמך בית ישראל, והנה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. Baruch ata Adonai, המלמד תורה לעמו ישראל. Blessed you, Eternal One, who teaches Torah to your people, Israel. Page 206.
דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, ואלו הם. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, ואלו הם. כיבוד אב ואם וגמילות חסדים, והשקפת בית המדרש, שחרית וערבית. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, ואלו הם. בהכנסת אורחים וביקור חולים, בהכנסת כלה ולוויית אמן. ואון תפילה, ואהבת שלום בין אדם לחברו, ותלמוד תורה כנגד כולם, ותלמוד תורה כנגד כולם, ותלמוד תורה כנגד כולם. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור, ואלו הם.
We continue on the facing page with our study for today.
There are 8 degrees in giving of tzedakah, each one higher than the one before. To give grudgingly, reluctantly, or with regret. To give that less than one should, but with grace. To give what one should, but only after being asked. To give before one is asked. To give without knowing who will receive it, although the recipient knows the identity of the giver. To give without making known one's identity. To give it so neither giver nor receiver knows the identity of the other. To help another to become self-supporting by means of a gift, a loan, or by finding employment for the one in need.
We conclude our Brachot HaShachar with an alternative Kaddish Rabbanan on the top of page 209. Please join us in the English. For our teachers and their students, and the students of their students, we ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say,
Amen.
And for those who study Torah here and everywhere, may they be blessed with all they need, and let us say,
Amen.
We ask for peace and loving kindness, and let us say,
Amen.
We turn forward to our Sukkah de Zimra, our verses of Song and Psalm, beginning on page 212.
Baruch Shema v'haya ha'olam, Baruch Oseh v'reshit, Baruch Omer v'oseh, Baruch Ozer u'mekayem,
Baruch merachem al haaretz,
Baruch merachem al habriot, Baruch meshalem zachar tov lireiav, Baruch Hai la'ad v'kayam lanetzach, Baruch poter u'matzil, Baruch Shemo.
With songs of praise, we extol you and proclaim your sovereignty, for you are the source of life in the universe, one God, light of the universe, praised and glorious, ruler, your name is eternal. Baruch
Atah Adonai, Melech Mehulam, L'Tishbachot.
On page 214, Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלה אסור עלינה, ולעלה פיקיון תפילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, תעשה ידיך עליי. מה גלו מעשיך אדוני מאוד, עמקו מחשבותיך. איש לא ידע, וכסיל לא יבין זאת. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
The righteous bloom like a date palm. They arrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the Eternal One's house. They flourish in our God's courts. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are a sap of freshness, attesting that God is upright, my rock, in whom there is no wrong.
On page 215, Psalm 145, Ashrei.
Ashrei Yoshvei Beitecha, Oidichalucha Selam.
אשריהם שכחלו, אשריהם שאדוני אלוהיו.
Tehillah leDavid, Armimcha Chai HaMelech, Baruch Shimcha le'olam va'ed.
בכל יום אברכך, והלילה שמך לעולם ועד.
Gadol Adonai u'huval me'od, ve'ligdulato en cheker.
דור לדור שבח מעשיך, וגבורתך יגידו.
Hadar kvod chodecha, v'difrei nifatecha asicha.
ועזוז נורתך יאמרו, וגדולתך ספרנה.
Secher Rav Tuvcha yabiu, v'tzidkacha yernenu.
חנון ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
Tov Adonai lakol, v'rachamah b'kol ma'asav.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך.
Kvod malchutcha yomeru, u'gvuratcha yedaberu.
להודיע לבני האדם גבורותיו, וכבוד האדם מלכותו.
Malchutcha malchut kol alamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor.
סומך אדוני לכל הנובלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
Enei kol elcha yesaberu, v'natan noten lachem et olam b'tov.
פותח את ידיך, ומסביר לכל הרצון.
Sadik Adonai bechol drachav, v'asifkacha ma'asav.
קרוב אדוני לכל קורב, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
Ritzon yirah yaseh, ve'et shotam yishma b'oshem.
שומר אדוני את כל אהבה, ואת כל רשעים ישמיד.
Tehillat Adonai yedaber pi, v'yorek kol basar, k'mod Hashem kosho l'olam va'ed.
ואנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם, הללויה.
Psalm 150, page 218.
הללויה בקודשו, הללויה בגבול עוזו, הללויה. הללו בגבורותיו, הללו קרוב גודלו, הללויה. הללויה. השופר, הללו בנבל כינור, הללויה. הללו בטוב ומחול, הללו במנגל וגל, הללויה. 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 בצלצלי שמה, הללו בצלצלי תרועה, הללויה. כל הנשמה תהללה, הללויה. הללויה.
Yishtabach on the top of page 223. Yishtabach Shimcha la'ad malkeinu ha'el ha'melech ha'kadol v'ha'kadosh v'shamayim u'va'aretz ki lachem na'eh Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu shir u'shbacha halel v'zimra oz memshala netzach gudla guvara tila u'tiferet kedusha u'malchot barachot v'hadaot me'ata ve'ad olam.
Baruch atah Adonai El Melech Gadol v'tishbachot El ha'odaot Adon haniflaot הבוחר בשירי זמרה מלך אלך העולמים.
Amen. We turn forward to page 224 as we rise for the Chatzi Kaddish in advance of the call to prayer.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
בעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי. וחייכון ויום אחרון וחייך בית ישראל. בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ועולמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשיו בריחו לעולם אין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. We continue with the Yotzei Or, the morning prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzei Or v'rei choshech Oseh shalom v'rei et hakol המאיר לארץ והרים עליה ברחמים, ובטובו מחדש בכל יום תמיד מעשה וראשית. מה רבו מעשיך אדוני, כולם בחוכמה עשית, מלאה הארץ קנייניך. תתברך אדוני אלוהינו על שבח מעשה ידיך, ועל מאורעו שעשית יפארוך סלע. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני יוצא המאורות.
Once or twice in a lifetime, a man or a woman may choose a radical leaving, having heard Lech Lecha, go forth. God disturbs us towards our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explodes and confirms who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher b'amo Yisrael ve'ahava.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Emet v'yatziv. It's the opening words of the next prayer, the prayer that links us between the words of the Shema and the words that Moses, Miriam, and all Israel sang by the shores of the sea. Emet v'yatziv, it means true and enduring. And the rabbis chose to place it at this point in our service because they wanted us coming out of the Shema and heading into the words of the Amidah to be reminded of the eternal truths of our tradition. Over the last couple of years, I, my daughter, our family have had a number of eternal truths reminded to us. And throughout all of them, my daughter and her remarkable energy and spirit, and she likes babies too, has carried us in many ways through. And so as we transition from the words of the Shema to the words of Mi Chamocha on page 240, we want to do so in a way that is, well, as untraditional as my family. And that's by using a melody that, wasn't really written for liturgy, but was certainly written for us and is at the core of who we are. Mi Chamocha, page 240.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Happy.
Okay, this is everyone. Don't worry. Be happy. Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tzvaot, is your name. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who redeems Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
As is our tradition, we continue with the Amidah, page 242. The first three of the benedictions we'll chant as a community, and then we'll continue seated. Page 242, the Amidah.
Adonai Shacharit tiftach uviagid tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tobim v'Konei Hakol, V'zocher Hastervot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geolah livnei v'neihem, למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה, רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו משנה עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, הכתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ, כבודו אדיר, אדירנו, אדוני, אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא משיענו והוא ישענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We continue on page 250 with the words of Yisrael.
במלכותך שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
הקדשי שביט שבת, כולם יסתרו ויתענגו מתוך השבת.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
והשמיעי רצית בו והקדשת שבת חמדת ימים קראת שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקורא עונג שבת
זכר למעשה בראשית שבת
זכר למעשה בראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקורא עונג Shabbat. If you'll join with me in the English at the top of page 253. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Baruch Ata Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Retei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael Utefil באהבה תקבל ותהי לרצון תמיד עבודת ישראל בני אל עבדיך וכוננו שפוך רוחך עלינו ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון You'll join with me in the English on page 256 in the middle of the page. We acknowledge with thanks that you are our eternal God and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favours at every time of day, evening, morning and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, O compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם, יתברך ויתרומם, שמך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם, יתברך ויתרומם, שמך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד. וכל החיים יודו חסלה ויהללו את שמך באמת, האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו, עזרתנו סלע. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם, יתברך ויתרומם, שמך מלכנו תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות. Blessed are you, Eternal One. Your name is goodness, and you truly are worthy of thanksgiving. Page 258.
Sing Shalom, Tova Uvracha. Sing Shalom, Tova Uvracha. Sing Shalom, Tova Uvracha. Sing Shalom, Tova Uvracha. חן וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים. חן וחסד, חן וחסד ורחמים, ורחמים. שים שלום, טוב וברכה. שים שלום, טוב וברכה. עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עמך
שים shalom.
שים שלום וברכה. שים שלום טובה וברכה.
Praise to you, Eternal One, who blesses your people Israel with the gifts of peace. We take a moment of silent prayer or meditation, whether using the words of our prayer books or the words of our hearts, and join together at the bottom of page 260. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צרוי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עוז יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Amen. עושה שלום במרומיו.
יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. ועל כל ישראל
Amen. What a remarkable opportunity to celebrate, live, and a bat mitzvah. And some people have come from a long way to join with you and to celebrate with you. And so Rabbi Josh Winston, I'd like to invite you to join us on the Teva and lead the next section of the service. Rabbi Josh was accompanied Gersh and Mish and was there soon after the birth of Liv and Sam. Went through rabbinic school, survived rabbinic school, graduated rabbinic school, was in the same class as Gersh. It is truly a chalice within which one is forged, and friendships are forged. It's a great pleasure to share the booklet with you. Page 362.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך ויאמר משה קומה אדוני ויפוצו אוהביך וינוסו משנאיך מפניך כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה תורה ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל מקדושתו.
The Ten Commandments on page 63.
I am your eternal God, who led you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Lo yeh lecha Elohim acharim al panai. You shall have no other gods besides me. Lo tisa et Shem Adonai lechecha lachshav. You shall not swear falsely by the name of Adonai your God. Titzar et Yom HaShabbat lachshov. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. Honor your father and your mother. Lo tirtzach, you shall not murder. Lo tinaf, you shall not commit adultery. Lo tignov, you shall not steal. Lo ta'aneh vayerecha ad shaker, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Lo tachmod, you shall not covet.
Shema
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Gadol Shemo Gadol Adonai Iti Uneromem Shemo Yachdav Lecha Adonai HaGedula VeHagvura VeHaTiferet VeHaNetzach VeHahod Yehovah Shamayim Bashamayim Uba'aretz Lecha Adonai HaMelech I'll דברים, על שלושה דברים, העולם, אמן.
Please be seated. And so for those of you who would like to follow along, we will be in the ploughed commentary, which looks a little like this. They are under some of the chairs throughout the congregation, or you could also find them at the back. The Shamashim are happy to share a copy of the Chumash with you if you would like. For our first Aliyah, Rabbi John Levi will lay for us. Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim. I have not, but it should be marked. You will find us on page 217 in the ploughed commentary. And for the first Aliyah, we'll invite Ashley Harris, Jenny Sword, and Tara Shai to come to Torah. Yamdu Orali bat David verachel, Bechana bat Tzvi verachel, Orli bat Avraham vesara, Rishonim la'aliyah la Torah. We're just between and just here when she was at store or with me.
Baruch hu Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. You will find us at page 217, right-hand column, beginning of the column.
וישלח יעקב מלאכים לפניו, אל עשיו אחיו, ארצה שעיר שדה אדום, ויצב אותם לאמור, כה תאמרון לאדוני לעשיו, כה אמר עבדך יעקב, עם לבן גרתי, ואחר עדתה, ויהי לי שעיר, וחמור, צאן ועבד, ושפחה, ואשלחך להגיד לאדוני, למצוא חן בעיניך, וישובו המלאכים אל יעקב לאמור, באנו אל אחיך, אל עשיו, וגם הלך לקראתך, 400 איש עמו, וירא יעקב מאוד, ויצא לו, ויחץ את העם אשר אתו, ואת הצאן ואת הבקר והגמלים, ולשני מחנות, ויאמר, אם יבוא עשיו אל המחנה האחד, והיכהו, והיה המחנה להנישה לפלטה.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Mishbarach Avotenu ve'imotenu Abraham, Yitzchak ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah. May God, who blessed our ancestors, bless each of you as you come to Torah in honor of Shabbat, in honor of Torah, in honor of this bat mitzvah who is over here now. But it's looking for her there. But in honor today of this celebration of your birthdays. I could say 21 today, but you're not 21. And I think I saw you on TV.
Yes.
Yes. So graduating and doing very well at Galena Ira College. Mazel Tov. So as we come and we share this celebration, may this be one of many opportunities to share a simcha, to share a celebration, a birthday, a moment that is special with community and a moment of special in the presence of God. May this be one of many such opportunities to come, and we say Amen and Mazel Tov. For our second Aliyah, we invite Rabbi Fred Morgan to lane for us, and for the Aliyah, we invite Harry Redner and Jill Redner and Judy and Peter Cohen and Roger and Sue Mendelssohn. Ya'amdu Tzvi ben Dov ve'Elka ve'Gila Anna ve'Yehudit bat Benjamin u'Dvora ve'Pesach ben Leib ve'Ruth ve'Yaakov ben Nachum ve'Shoshana bat Avraham ve'Sarah shniim la'Aliyah laTorah. You will find us on page 217, left-hand column at the beginning of the column. Baruch Adonai mevarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai mevarach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayomer Yaakov, Elohei Avi Abraham, Velohei Avi Yitzchak, Adonai Haomer Elai, Shuv Latzecha, U'lemoladetecha, Ve'tiva Imach, Katonti Mikol HaChasadim, U'mikol HaEmet, Asita et Avdecha. כי במקלי עברתי את הירדן הזה ועתה הייתי לשני מחנות. הצילני נא מיד אחי מיד עשיו, כי הרי אנוכי אותו פן יבוא והיכני אם על בנים. ואתה אמרת היטב היטיב עמך ושמתי את זרעך ככל הים אשר לא יספר מרוב.
חזק. כל הכבוד.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת והאיר לנו מצוות תורתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Mishberach Avotenu Abraham, Yitzchak veYaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel veLeah. May God, who bless our ancestors, bless each of you as you come today in honor of Torah, in honor of Shabbat, in honor of this bat mitzvah who is just behind you, and in honor of 150 years of marriage between you. You know, there was a Chinese couple who were married as young children, babies. I like the story because it speaks volumes. They were child, bride and groom, and they both lived till over 100. And so they were married more than 100 years, and they were asked, what is the secret to such a good marriage? And they say, you know, the first 50 years, they're the hard ones. Well, Harry and Jill, you've made it past there. You guys still spring chickens. May this be one of many opportunities to share and celebrate in community, to share and celebrate here in the presence of God, of friends and of family. May you have many, many, many more anniversaries to come. Not sure that another 50, but 51 is an amazing, remarkable thing to do. May you share many more anniversaries to come in community. And we say, Amen. For our third Aliyah, we transition from celebration to memory. And we invite Sarah to come and lane for us. Sarah, Gersh tells me, is the only person he likes more than Josh. Apparently so. So we transition from celebration to memory. If you are here at a period of Shiva Shloshim or Yahrzeit, this Aliyah is for you. Please come forward at this time. We will be continuing on page 217 at verse 14, which you'll find in the left-hand column, fourth line from the bottom, fourth word in. If you can just find where we are going. Okay, if you'd like to touch just here. Baruch Adonai mevarach leolam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chavanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayalen sham balayla hahu vayikach min haba biyado mincha le'esav achiv izim matayim utyashim eserim rechelim matayim be'elim asarim gemalim menikot uvnehem shloshim parot arba'im ufarim asarim otonot asarim ve'erim asara vayiten biyad avada eder levado vayomer el avadav ivru lefanai veravach tisemu ben eder uven eder vayitzach et harishon lemor ki yifkashecha esav achi ush'alecha lemor lemi ata ve'ana telech ulmi ele lefanecha ve'amarta le'avdecha le'Yaakov mincha hi shelucha la'Adonai le'esav ve'hine gam hu acharenu.
Chizki. And the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet techei olam nata betocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Mishberach Avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Bilhah. May God, who bless our ancestors, bless each and every one of you as you come here today in honor of Shabbat, in honor of Torah, in honor of Bat Mitzvah, who's behind us, and the reality of the cycle of life. Most importantly, in honor of memory, of loved ones whom you come here today to honor, to cherish, and to pay tribute to. May their memories never fade. May their memory always be fresh, and the experiences that enriched you and made you who you are be constantly present in your lives. We say, Oif Simchas, may we meet in times of joy. In some ways, this is a day of celebration, but for you, it's also a time of memory. May you cherish those memories, and may those memories remain bright and meaningful throughout your lives. In this way, we truly pay tribute to our loved ones who are no longer physically with us. May their memories be for a blessing. We say, Amen. And so before our bat mitzvah lanes from Torah, she has a few words to share about this Torah portion, Parashat Vayishlach.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. I appreciate that many of you have been waiting the better part of a decade to finally get an interesting Devar Torah from one of the members of the Lazaro family. I hope I won't let you down. Tom, I know you usually sleep through my dad's sermons, and I'll expect you to do the same for my drush. So I got you this neck pillow so you won't hurt your neck. So let me just... While my grandfather gets comfortable, I'd like to take a few moments to tell the rest of you about my Torah portion, Parashat Vayishlach. The portion begins with Jacob returning home after a 20-year stay in Haran. On his way home, he sends messages to his brother Esau in hope of reconciliation. That night, Jacob sends his family and their possessions across the Jabbok River. He, however, remains behind and encounters a mysterious being, with whom he wrestles with until daybreak, when the stranger changes his name to Israel, which means the one who struggles with God. The next day, Jacob and Esau meet, embrace, kiss, and then part ways. After that, Jacob purchases a plot of land near Shechem, whose crown prince, also Shechem, abducts and rapes Jacob's daughter, Dinah. Dinah's brothers Simeon and Levi avenge the deed by killing all the male inhabitants of the city. The parasha finally concludes with a detailed account of Esau's family and descendants. At this point, I imagine most B'nai Mitzvah students would end their summary of the Torah portion and look to make some connection with their journey to Torah and how it was like Jacob's wrestle and how they're becoming an adult Jewish tradition and they want to continue to be B'nai Yisrael, the next generation of Jews who wrestle with God. It's a great drush and an interesting connection to B'nai Mitzvah. And despite my dad suggesting that it could be perfect for the theme of my Devar Torah, it just didn't work for me and did not reflect my relationship with Torah. Instead, I've decided I want to explore an entirely different aspect of the parasha, the incredibly troubling but all too common story of Jacob's daughter Dinah and how she was raped by Shechem. Throughout this story, Dinah never speaks, not once. Her voice is entirely absent from the text. Dinah was raped and was silent or silenced. I believe that these two acts of violence against women are connected. Think of all the times and places in human history when women haven't been able to tell their own stories. That silencing constricts their freedom. The people and the structures of power responsible for silencing women may think that they're keeping them safe. But in this week's Torah portion, we see that keeping a woman hidden or silent offers little or no protection. How might her story have been different if Dinah had been allowed to participate in the journeying of her family? If, like her brothers, she'd been able to walk freely in open air? If, like her brothers, she'd been given a voice to speak out or talk back or tell it how she saw it? How might our stories be different if every woman in the world were granted those freedoms as a matter of course? Dinah's story challenges us with its very familiarity: a woman rendered invisible and silent, a woman raped. Some of the structures which silence women today are almost invisible: social expectations, peer pressure, and the desire to be liked. Peer pressure and the desire to be liked. The fear that if we speak the truth, we'll be shunned or left alone. Not to mention the outrage and active silencing that come from men who do not like it when we get a voice, as we saw in reaction to so many who feared the impact of the Me Too movement. Rape itself is a tool frequently used to keep women silent. I recently read that around the world, 1 in 3 women have been abused, beaten, or coerced into sex. According to the UN, 200,000 women, from very little girls to old women, have been raped during the ongoing violence in Central Africa. And most of these stories are never told because women are taught, in both obvious and subtle ways, that if they speak out, they'll be punished further. These structures of oppression are hard to dismantle, but that doesn't give us a pass on not trying to dismantle them. Last Sunday, up to 1,000 people gathered in Thornbury in a show of solidarity following a brutal attack on a young female jogger in Mary Creek. And right now, there are hundreds of women in India on a hunger strike protesting the change to rape culture in their community. In Pirkei Avot, we are taught that it's not our duty to complete the work, but neither are we free to desist from it. The time has come for us to do our part as well. I'm not suggesting we join the Indian hunger strike, but I do believe we need to do our part to make sure that the safety of women is respected and the voices of all women are heard. As I'm becoming Bar Mitzvah, officially the newest Jewish woman in the world, I want to commit to do it. This is what I want to commit to doing. I'm really proud to go to a school that for the first time ever elected 2 female school captains for no other reason that they were the best people for the job. I'm hoping to follow their example and look for opportunities to lead and shape our community and do my part to ensure that it reflects the values which are so important to me. I'm standing here today asking for your support in helping me on a dinner. How do we do that? How do I suggest we on a dinner? In my mind, it's pretty simple. We just have to change the world we live in so the story is no longer one that would happen. I'm not sure how we're going to do this, but we have to try.
And so for our 4th Aliyah Liv, we'll begin to lane for us, and we will be on page 218 in the Platt commentary. For this Aliyah, we invite Danny and Hayden and Neil and Matthew to come to Torah. Ya'amdu Daniel ben Mendel ve'Yehudit, ve'Chaim ben Michael ve'Yonina, ve'Nachum ben Michael ve'Yonina, ve'Moshe ben Michael ve'Yonina, Revi'im la'Aliyah la'Torah. So we are on page 218. At verse 20 and onwards, which you will find on 6th line from the bottom, 5th word in the right-hand column. Could you point to where you are beginning?
Yes.
So we begin where in this column here? Right, so I've come it.
Yeah, here.
Yep.
Everybody is over here. Just right there. Yes.
Baruch Adonai Merach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Melech Haolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher b'chabanu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayata gam et hasheni, gam et hashlishi, gam et kol ha'chofim, acharei hadarim lemor, kedavar hazeh tedaberun el esav, b'motza'achem oto. Hematem gam hine avdecha Yaakov acharenu ki ama achpera panav b'motza'ach b'mincha haholechet lefanai acharei ken acharei panav ulai isa panai v'ta'avor hamincha al panav v'hu el lan v'layla hahu b'machaneh.
Amen.
In trying to prepare for this moment of blessing, I asked Livy what are the blessings she would bestow upon you? What are the things that have shaped your relationship all of her life? And so we say, Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Abraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah v'Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, and the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Bless each of you as you have been blessed with Shabbat, with Torah. Bless each of you with the continued strength to tell Livy like it is, to share in the laughs that you all create together, because the four of you, she says, are the craziest cats she knows. And to call her out sometimes on all of that silliness that she brings. May you four, as you continue to build this amazing family that you have together, may you four continue to be like Jacob and Esau in this moment. We just read these words. Jacob and Esau reconciling with each other. Always remember, may God give you the strength to reconcile no matter what the situation may be as you go forth in life together as brothers, as a united family.
Amen. For our fifth Aliyah, Liv will continue laning, and for this Aliyah we invite Jenny, Tom, Mike and Yvonne to come to Torah. Yamdu Yehudit bat Chaim, Mendel ben Chaim Shoshana, Michael ben Moshe Miriam, Yonina bat Elkanan Chaim Rivka, Chamishim la'Aliyah la Torah. We are at verse 23, which you'll find on page 218, left-hand column at the paragraph break, second line from the very top. Just point to where we're starting with. Good. Vayikam b'layla hahu vayikach. Okay. You want to just touch where she's pointing. And if you Baruch Adonai Borach L'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher b'chavanu mikol ha'amim v'natananu et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayakom halayla hu vayikach et shtei nashav v'et shtei shifchotav v'et achad asa yalda vayavor et mavar yabok vayikahem ve'yavirechem et hanachal vayaver et ashelo Vayater Yaakov levado, vayavek ish imo ad alot chashachar, vayar ki lo yochlu lo, vagidana vayiga bechaf yerecho, v'teka kaf yerech Yaakov, behe'avko imo. Vayomer shelcheni ki alad chashachar vayomer lama lo ashelchacha ki im biraktani.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natananu Torah emet v'chayei mitzvah b'tocheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. One of the shyest B'nai Mitzvah students I have ever had.
And for the four of you, Livy's grandparents, Mishaverach Halotinu V'Imoteinu Abraham Yitzhak V'Yaakov Saravi Kalachel Leah, may the one who blessed our ancestors continue to bless you with the nachas of this wonderful, wonderful young woman in your life. She spoke to me about your unconditional love, the way that you, in her words, are the grooviest grapes she knows. May God bless you with the continued strength to continue to schlep her around, as she says, from skiing to swimming to shopping. But I think most importantly, knowing that Livy is never alone was one of the things that she talked about. May God continue to bless you with that strength, to let her know that she is surrounded and held by an amazing love, by this wonderful family that you have brought together, these wonderful boys and girls that are a part of your lives. May it continue to be a blessing for you.
Amen. For the sixth Aliyah, Liv will continue laning, and we invite Mish and Gersh and to accompany them, Sam to come to Torah. יעמדו מיכאל בת מנדל ויהודית והרב גרשון הרש בן מיכאל ויונינה 60 לעלייה לתורה. Verse 20. So we are continuing at verse 28. Vayomer elav. So it's fourth, left-hand column, fourth line from the bottom, third word in on page 218.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Mevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher b'cha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayomer Elav ma shmecha. Vayomer Yaakov. Vayomer lo Yaakov. Imo od shimcha. Ki im Yisrael. Ki sarit Hashem Elohim. Ve'anashim tunchal. Vayish'al Yaakov. Vayomer Hagidana shmecha. Vayomer lama zeh tish'al lishmi. Vayivarech oto Shem.
Key and
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'hayolam nata b'tachenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Mishaberach Avotinu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzhak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka v'Chel v'Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors continue to bless you as well with the strength, Oziv Zimrat Yah, as we began this service that is needed for this young woman. The strength that she also brings to you, may God continue to bless you with that. The goodness, the happiness that she helps you focus on. Liv talked about the way that you always stand by her, that you make her feel like she won the jackpot when it comes to parents. I think it's mutual, though, that you both won the jackpot, that you continue to have the strength to support Liv as she continues to grow into the person she's becoming. It's an interesting aliyah for you to have, an aliyah of naming. You gave her her name. It was hers to take and to grow into the person she's become, and she continues to do that, honoring her great-grandmother in her name, honoring her family with the words, the actions that she partakes in. May she continue to be strength for you, happiness for you, and goodness for you always.
Amen. You'll need to sit. And for our final aliyah. Amod, Amod, Amod. Levi abat harav Gershon Hersh v'Michal. Nara dabat mitva la'aliyah laTorah. Come on down. Just point to where you begin. So we're beginning at verse 31 and onwards, which you'll find on page 219, right-hand column, top line, fifth word in, and the bracha.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'cha banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayikra Yaakov Shem hamakom pniel, ki ra'iti Elohim panim al panim, vetinatzel nafshi. Vayizrach lo hashemesh kasher avad et pnuel, vehu tzolea al yerecho. Al ken lo yachlu b'nei Yisrael ekid hanasher asher al kaf yerech ad hayom hazeh ki nakaf bechaf yerech Yaakov bekid hanasher. Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'yachei b'kol v'asa b'tocheinu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Shaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Libby, continue to bless you, and may you find blessing also in this strength that you sang of, a strength coming from God, hopefully also leading to salvation, the strength that it takes to stand on a bima as a nearly 13-year-old person and talk about the things that you talked about is a quality that we don't often find in young people. It is a strength that is a difficult strength to have because it's tiring. Because it's tiring to be able to talk about truth, to talk about how you see the world, to talk about what you think the world needs to become. That's exhausting strength. But may you, because it's the only thing I think you can do, may you continue to have that strength. May it lead you forward to make your community better than it is, to make this country better than it is, to make this world better than it is. That is a strength that's clearly inside of you. May God continue to bless you with it.
Amen. Amen. And so in the presence of Torah.
Okay. Wait, you're standing. Oh, we're going to, yeah, right here. Yeah. Mom, come on. Liv, I don't usually do this because the priestly benediction, the priestly blessing is from Torah, and so I tend not to change the language of Torah. But given the topic that you discussed, we're going to change the gendered language from the masculine to the feminine as we say the priestly benediction. Yivarchech Adonai v'yishmerech. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elayich v'chunayich. May God be gracious to you, and may God be kind with you. Yisa Adonai panav elayich v'yasem lecha shalom. And when God's face is lifted up to you, may God grant you the most important blessing any of us can have. May God grant you peace. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Amen. Mazel tov. Sing. Simcha tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simcha tov, simcha tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simcha tov, simcha tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simcha tov.
And within community this morning, but we also know that there are far too many in our community who are unwell at this time. And so we turn back to our prayer book and lean on the strength of Torah and on the strength of prayer to offer a prayer of comfort and consolation to those who are unwell. The Misha Berach Cholim can be found on page 371.
Be the blessing, and let us say, Amen.
This time we think of Elbert Bentata, Gabriel Batitza Kutvora, Annette French, Sue Brown, Rhoda Singer, Don Williams, Nisim Yona ben Nathan Shmuel Vasheli, Or ben Miriam of Yuval, Ruth Myers, Glynis Perry, Gabriel ben Chaya, Vicky Chafin, Adira bat Rachel, Bella Magid, Chana bat Dora, Rosemary Moore, Morris Mark, Douglas Simons, Diana Bliss, Morris Elijah, Maya Solomon ben Rachel, Pam Dean, Jeffrey Noodleman, and Margaret Cochran. To these names, I also invite you to add others from your family, from your friendship circle, those who you know could benefit with a little bit of blessing as my eyes turn to yours. And on the foot of the facing page, we give honor to the scroll.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. Please be seated.
We continue now with our Haftarah for this Shabbat. The Haftarah comes to us on this Shabbat from the prophet Hosea and can be found on page 349 in the Plaut Chumash, although Livy will be reading it in translation, preceded by the blessings.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzah divreihem ha-ne'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'moshe advo u'Yisrael amo u'nvi'eh ha'emet b'sedek. My people are bent on turning from me. They invoke him Baal on the heights, but he cannot lift them up. How can I give you up, Ephraim? How can I let you go, Israel? How can I make you like Admah, or treat you like Zebon? My heart has changed in me. All my pity stirs. I will not act upon my wrath. I will not turn to destroy Ephraim. For I am your God and no mortal, the Holy One in your midst. I will not come with anger. They shall follow the Eternal, who will roar like a lion when God roars. Children shall flutter from the west. They shall come from Egypt, fluttering like a bird from the land of Assyria, trembling like a dove, and I will settle them in their homes, says the Eternal One. Ephraim surrounds me with lies, and the house of Israel with deceit. while Judah still stands firm with God and keeps faith with the holy angels. Ephraim tends the wind pursuing the east wind, ever multiplying falsehood and violence, now making the covenant with Assyria and then sending oil to Egypt. The Eternal has arraigned Israel and will push Jacob according to his ways, repaying him according to his deeds. In the womb he sees his brother's heel. Grown up, he wrestled with the divine being. He wrestled with an angel and prevailed. He cried out and entreated him with who met him at Bethel, and they spoke with us. But in truth it was the Eternal, the God of heaven's hosts, whose designation is the Eternal. Now then you must truly turn back to your God. Hold fast to steadfast, love justice, and wait continually for your God. Like a trader who used dishonest scales, who loves to oppress, Ephraim says, how rich have I become? I have found wealth for myself and all my labours. They cannot find an offence that is really a sin. But I, the Eternal, have been your God since the land of Egypt. I can make you live in tents again, as the days of the tabernacle. I spoke to the prophets. I heaped up visions, and through the prophets I spoke in parables. In the Galilee there is a wickedness. I have become worthless. In Gilgal they sacrifice bulls. Their altars too shall be like heaps of stone on the furrows of open fields. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam tzur kol olamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber u'mkayeh shachol d'bracha ve'emet v'sedek al ha'torah v'al ha'bodah v'al ha'nvi'im v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatan lanu Adonai Eloheinu l'kedusha ve'limenucha lachvod lifteret Al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'malchim otam yibarach shimcha v'yivchochai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat.
Amen. We invite the Torah scroll to rise and the congregation to rise with it as we turn to page 376 and offer blessings for our congregation, for our country, and for the people and state of Israel. And it is my pleasure to invite my sister-in-laws up onto the bima to offer these blessings. We begin first with a prayer for the congregation.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
Baruch atah Adonai shalcha levadcha be'irah na'avod. On the foot of that same page, we continue with a prayer for our country.
O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Help us remember those who have lived in this land before us, and those who have made it in their home in more recent times. Teach us to give thanks to what we have, by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation, and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit.
Amen. Amen. And we leave the prayer book to offer an alternative prayer for the people and state of Israel.
Okay. In this sacred moment, give us hope for Israel and her future. Renew our wonder at the miracle of the Jewish state. In the name of the pioneers who made the deserts bloom, give us the tools to cultivate a diversity of Jewish expression in Israel. In the name of our fallen soldiers, give us courage to stand up to the words and the ways of zealots, those in our midst and those among our neighbours. In the name of Israeli inventors who have amazed the world with their innovations, help us apply the same ingenuity to finding a path to peace. In the name of all these individuals, grant us the strength to conquer doubt and despair in Israel, replacing doubt with action, replacing despair with hope. And let us say Amen.
Amen. We turn back to page 374 as we return the scroll to the ark.
יהללו את שם אדוני, כי נשגב שמו לבדו. הודו לארץ ושמיים, וירא קרן הארון, תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרוב. הללויה, הללויה. כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזבו, את חייבי למחזיקים בה, ותומכיה מאושר, דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה שלום. השירנו אדוני אליך ונשובה, קדש ימינו Please be seated. So while we have Rabbi Josh here and Sarah and their kids, Molly, Eve and Ori, we have the opportunity to invite you to share a few words from this pulpit. Welcome once again.
Thank you for the honor. Where's Liv? There she is. Actually, I was thinking that given the topic that Livy discussed and the way she discussed it, there's really no need for another Devar Torah, so I'm going to... Okay. My name is Joshua Lee Winston. My grandmother wanted me to be named Lee Winston, but my mother would not allow it. My grandmother wanted me to be named Lee for the son she lost when he was just 18. Lee died in a drowning accident. My mother feared to call me Lee because of that accident. And so, as a compromise, I got my middle name. What we name our children, or even what name we may choose to take, says a great deal about us. There are, of course, several naming and renaming traditions in Judaism and Western culture. In the Ashkenazi tradition, we often name after a deceased relative, while in the Sephardic tradition, it's common to name after a living relative. There's the Jewish tradition of taking a new name during a grave illness as a way of tearing apart the decree of sickness. This idea is first discussed in the Talmud and later elucidated in the Shulchan Aruch. Renaming after an illness may be one of the more curious traditions of taking a new name, while a new name after marriage is rather mundane, or at least it used to be. I'm just as likely to come across a couple who create an entirely new surname or use a hyphenated name as I am a traditional bride taking the groom's surname. And we might also argue that when a person takes on a title, here too is an example of a name change. I remember when Rabbi Richard Levy, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, a teacher very significant to me and Gersh, I remember when he said to our class as we approached ordination day that with the conferring of rabbi, we were receiving a new name, be it doctor, MP, or prime minister. Additions to a name are significant and denote a change in status from single to married, layperson to professional, from ill to healthy. All changes in name mark some change in status. Our bat mitzvah has already raised the name change of Jacob to Israel and chosen to focus on another part of our parasha, a worthy choice given the crucial call to action she offered us. However, the night of struggle Jacob had at Yabuk was only one of the name changes in this week's Torah portion. 3 chapters later, Jacob's name is changed for the second time. In this instance, rather than a divine messenger offering the change, God speaks to Jacob, saying in chapter 35, verse 10, "You whose name is Jacob, you shall be called Jacob no more, but Israel shall be your name." Thus God named him Israel. Scholarly critique through the documentary hypothesis suggests that these 2 name changes are from 2 different authors of the text. Our traditional commentators note the textual redundancy and indicate that these 2 naming moments help us understand why both names, Jacob and Israel, continue to be used throughout Tanakh. The 12th century Spanish rabbi Abraham ibn Ezra suggests as an explanation for the second naming scene, "You shall no longer be called Jacob alone, because you will also be called Israel." And in fact, there is another name change just a few verses later. Rachel dies during the birth of her second child, and in her dying breath, she names her newborn son Ben-Oni, son of my sorrow. However, Jacob quickly changes his name to Benjamin, son of the right hand. It's easy to see why the first name change of our parasha receives all the attention. The drama of the fight, the wrenching of the leg, the struggle throughout the night, the odd blessing of a name change offered by a mysterious being are critical to this prominent moment. On some level, with enough years under our belts, we can all relate to Jacob struggling against the mysterious being. Hopefully, we all find out what it is like to struggle against something and come out on top, forever changed in the process. I commend our bat mitzvah today on recognizing the passé nature of a bat mitzvah, discussing her struggle with Torah and choosing to pass on talking about becoming the next generation of Jews who wrestle with God. She's right. It's a drash offered many times over. And yet, there are only a few stories we human beings tell. As we say, there is nothing new under the sun. We just change them a bit and retell them because they are stories we need to hear. I would argue, Livy, that on some level, even without meaning to, you implicitly engaged in the struggle you explicitly said you wanted to avoid. You seized hold of our sacred text and wrestled with it. And you offered a new way of seeing it. You added your link in the Shalshelet HaKabbalah, the chain of tradition that keeps us alive as Jews. You gave exactly the right drash in precisely the right moment. While we often talk about the name Yisrael, breaking the name into its parts, Yasar and El, to struggle with God, the verbal root Sarah also has another meaning. It can mean master or officer. Now that's a much more provocative reading than the one that's already provocative enough that our tradition also recognizes in the Midrash. But what does it mean to be a master of God? What audacity it takes to suggest that Jacob mastered God. And yet, I imagine few of us would get into a struggle that we intend to lose, to not master. There is something deeply human about the idea of mastering the master. When we enter a struggle, we may fear losing, our anxiety may rise, but we typically intend to overcome the situation and prevail. So what might this mean for us? It is precisely what you urge us to do, Livy. It is to change the reality in which we live. It is to recognize that how the world has been and how it is today is still not good enough. It is to change the reality of the status of women in our world. It is not enough to struggle with it. We must conquer and change a reality that leaves half the population of the world under threat in the face of sexualized violence, a world that silences women, a world that doesn't believe women. Naming is a way of calling out a situation. When we name something, we seek to define it and master it. Without fully understanding, maybe that is why my mother refused to give me the first name Lee after my uncle who died many decades before. She was seeking to master a potential linkage and fear a familial replay in doing so. Seeking to master a situation is not only what we do in our personal lives, it is also part of our communal experience. That the name change from Jacob to Israel was both personal to Jacob and had considerable implications for our people is part of the brilliance of the struggle with this mysterious being. Embedded in this story is our people's story and even the human story, not only the story of our ancestor Jacob. With Livia's raising of the rape of Dinah, she helps us hear a missing voice in Torah, and as such, raises not an issue particular to the Jewish people, but to much of humanity. The struggle she raises is not personal, but nearly universal. As a guest here, I stand before you acknowledging that we do not know each other. It is one thing to be a guest in another community, and you may have noticed I'm not even from Melbourne. And yet, as we look around the world and into this third decade of the 21st century, the questions of who we are, what our name might be, those questions are before us in ways we have not seen in decades. And while the issues may or may not be local to Melbourne, in an interconnected world, they affect us all. The world order that was set in motion in the latter half of the 20th century is coming to an end. The values that define Western society now seem to be up for grabs. We all see this and know this. We sit on the cusp of something new. And in change, there is always struggle. We can look to the protests in Hong Kong, the election just yesterday or the day before, I'm never sure where I am, in the UK, and the unfolding of Brexit, the backsliding of democracy in places like Hungary and even my own country, the United States, and of course climate change. In these struggles, we see the struggles that will define generations to come. Luckily, our adversary will not be a mysterious, unnamed being, but rather something we know, a fight for decency and life. Jacob crossed a river and fought with the unknown and the unnamed. Thank goodness that is not the struggle we find ourselves in today. The challenges before us are clear. Like Jacob, we will change, and we will be better for it. Shabbat Shalom. If you're able, we continue on page 586. Please rise. the ark up here.
Nadon hakol,
לתת כלולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה את הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושירת עוזו בנופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We remain standing for a few more moments as we turn and think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts as our own. This Shabbat we think of those in the period of Shloshim. We think of Vega Berison, Lynette Dubovitz, Laura Erkol, Sophia Friedman, Robert Klepner, Adrienne Lustig, Meryl Rood, Edith Sadlin, Eric Taft, and Leah Vichnevitskaya. And we think of those whose yahrzeits fall on this Shabbat. Philip Applebaum, Nat Bache, Irene Benjamin, Sir Zelman Cowan, Max Dinner, Gertrude Dodge, Alan Eilenberg, Martin Freiberg, Minnie Goldman, Gunther Hauk, Mavis Jordan, Pearl Kahan, Regina Kempler, Maurice Corman, Amiel Kornhauser, Marion Levy, Shirley Margus, Lillian Morgan, Shlomo Moshinsky, Bernard Peck, Rose Pogorelsky, Dorothy Porter, Zipporah Ribaijan, Shaul Ribaijan, David Schenker, Vera Silberberg, Joseph Silver, and Bernard Treister. If there are names I've mispronounced, or if there are other names that you'd like to add to this list, please do so as I look around the room. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories truly be for a blessing as we turn to page 598 and join together in the words of the mourners Kaddish Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, v'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yamerchonu v'chayei v'kol beit Yisrael, v'agalat v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabah v'vorach leolam ulal me'al maya. יתברך וישתבח ויתהר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה בריחו לילה מן קל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, and to all of humanity. And we say, Amen. Please be seated as our President shares with us a few announcements and perhaps presentations from the Board of Governors.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Patrick, Stephanie, Ido, and Rhonda for your liturgy this morning. And welcome everyone from the board here at Temple Beth Israel, whether you're here for Shabbat, here for this wonderful celebration that we've had, or in memory of a loved one. You're all most welcome. Welcome to anyone who is watching online as well. Mazel tov to our couples who celebrated anniversaries with us, Harry and Jill, Judy and Peter, and Roger and Sue. And happy birthday, Ashley, Tara and Jenny. Very warm welcome to the Gorog and Lazaro family and all the family friends, especially those who have travelled from overseas. Welcome everyone. Livia, please come and join me. Liv, mazel tov. What an extraordinary morning you've given us. We've been very blessed. And I just hope you are proud of yourself, because your family in these rows in front really certainly are proud of you. In your drush, you said you were not going to do what B'nai Mitzvah kids usually do with your portion. So I'm not going to do what presidents usually do. I'm not going to tell the congregation that you've been at the King David School since daycare, or that you love your sport, you're a competitive swimmer, an accomplished skier, or that you're very involved with Netzeh. And it's certainly of interest that you're a fourth generation TBI member on the Gorog side, and that your mother, your grandfather, and your great-grandfather all served on the board of Temple Beth Israel. No pressure there. Now, what I really want to tell them, and I think people know already, is that you are absolutely passionate about social issues. You're passionate about climate change and caring for the environment. You've already made a difference to your family's recycling practices. You're passionate about the rights of Indigenous people. You care about the rights of everyone and all living beings, including animals, and you've made the ethical choice to follow a vegan diet. We've been able to hear your passion for equality between men and women, and the way that you're urging us to not just be concerned about these issues, but to really do something about it. And in that way, to raise the voices of women, for example, to end violence against women and to do things about other issues. Liv, I can see that you strive to achieve at the highest level. You struggle and you strive and you achieve. I think you have a maturity and a commitment to your values that is admirable and absolutely amazing. And whatever you do, I'm sure you will change the world in many ways and make it a better place. And we have some presentations for you. So perhaps just check that the certificate is the right certificate.
My name's yeah.
That's it, good. And as usual, we have a book on our stained glass windows for you, a voucher for Netzeh Camp, a membership certificate of the Union for Progressive Judaism, our roof body, and the gift of a Kiddush cup. And one more thing. People may have seen in the foyer of the synagogue our beautiful illustrated Torah, lovely artwork on each parasha, which is by Michal Meron, a female Israeli artist. Each parasha can be dedicated to a special person, and we of the leadership of TBI are dedicating this parasha, yours, Vayeshlach, to you.
Thank you.
Mazel tov, Livy.
Thank you.
A few announcements before we finish. Tomorrow, you might care to join us for the launch of a really interesting book. Here at TBI at 3 o'clock, we will welcome Alex Rivkin, who is the co-chief executive of the ECAJ, the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. Now, he will be launching his latest book, which is called Zionism, A Concise History. Should be very interesting, 3 o'clock here at TBI. Hanukkah starts on the 22nd of December, and on Friday the 27th, do please join us for our Kabbalat Shabbat service, where you can bring your Hanukkah and we will light them in the sanctuary. Then afterwards we'll have a festive Kiddush and our famous donuts. Some pop-up Shabbat will be running all through the summer, starting on the 27th of December and continue at Red Hill on Friday nights until the 24th of January. Some things in advance for next year. As you know, we run the Florence Melton School of Adult Jewish Learning here at TBI, and enrolments are open for the courses that are starting in February. So they will be the Purposes and Rhythms of Jewish Living, which will be on Tuesday night, The Crossroads of Jewish History and the Ethics of Jewish Living, which will be on Wednesday night. And then we have a new course, a scholars course on medical ethics. It will be taught by Rabbi Ronnie Figdor. That will be a Monday afternoon class. Please go onto our website to see details and enrol. And one more save the date. On February the 9th, which is Tu B'Shvat, we will have a wonderful event at a property out near Geelong. There will be a picnic, there will be tree planting, there will be burial of old prayer books. That will be Sunday, February the 9th of next year. I'd like to thank Rhonda and Jackie for being our Shamashim today. I would like to thank our laners, Rabbi Levi, Rabbi Morgan, Sarah, and of course Livia. Thank you, Rabbi Josh, for your inspiring words. I would also like to thank my fellow board members who've been in attendance today and for their assistance: Judy Cohen, Joanne Lowy-Irons, Nicola Strauss, Charles Shaw, Simon Langer, John Hillel, Jodie Sanders, Josh Daskell and Robert Hershen. Do please thank our security volunteers on your way out. We're making Kiddush here in the sanctuary, doing things a little bit differently again after our final song. So then you will be free to go into the Sloan Hall, where Kiddush is kindly sponsored by the Gorog, the Lazaro families and TBI. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. We will conclude with the words of Veshamhu leading directly into Kiddush. So Veshamhu you will find on page 602. Veshamhu b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ולעולם.
We rise for Kiddush.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן לחיים.
And to that, before we break bread in Kiddush together, we say Motzi.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ. Amen.
Everyone, please join us for Kiddush. Shabbat Shalom.
Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.